Alright, this is YouTube's Darkest Videos #2 from Nick Crowley. Let's see if this is scary or if this is just sad like last time.
Nature gathering its forces for still another unending assault on man.
1-800 Embassy for
It sounds like it came right out
Not gonna lie though, like, aside from all this, I really like this guy's editing style. Like, he makes it like creepy looking.
of a zombie.
Computers are
Starting in homes with basements. Go below and stay below ground level.
Wait, what did that say? The announcement, please stand by for, okay.
Tornado warning.
April 9th, 2015, a tornado begins to form during the evening hours in the small town of Franklin Grove, Illinois, quickly growing larger and larger by the minute, to the point of reaching an unprecedented size for the area.
Yo, crazy, like, tornado story. I guess, like, back when I was, like, 3 or something, like, I don't remember this, like, but my parents tell me this. We were in Chicago, we were driving away, and I guess there was, like, a tornado, like, close to us, and we had to, like, speed, like, hella fast or something like that. Bro was 6, that's
Miles away in the town of Fairdale, 67-year-old Geraldine Schultz
Can't be serious, bro. Right when you say that, there's not a prediction, bro. You just said I was 6'7", and then that happened.
Miles away in the town of Fairdale, 67-year-old Geraldine Schultz spotted the vortex forming in the distance. Worried, she called her husband Clem into the kitchen, where the two would stand watching the tornado out their window. For the couple, tornadoes were nothing new, and Clem was quickly able to determine that the storm would likely miss them to the east. But just to be safe, he went upstairs to grab some lanterns, in the likely event of a power outage.
Low-key high IQ. But another tornado story is that I was in California for like a sibling vacation. Like, it was like me, my brother, and my sister. And I guess, like, when we were out, there was a tornado, like, around where we were, like, where, like, we live at, right? It was, like, 20 minutes away from, like, my house, and it was, like, the first tornado that happened here in, like, over 20 years, because we don't get any tornadoes here.
Upon doing so, Clem would catch a glimpse of the tornado outside the bedroom window, having grown significantly closer. Its wind speeds were well over 200 miles an hour, and having been classified as an EF4, it was the largest twister the area had ever seen. In awe of its size, Clem began to record out the window, still.
What's an EF4? Like, they, like, what's, like, the, like, because I know earthquakes are magnitude. Is that, like, how to measure a tornado?
Certain that the storm was heading east.
E4, like, crazy, or like...
But unfortunately, he was wrong. And in reality, the powerful storm was heading directly towards him. By the time Clem would realize this, it was far too late. There was no time to run, and not a chance to hide. All he
Don't people say that if the tornado looks like it's not moving or anything, that means it's coming towards you? Don't people say that?
could do was stand there helplessly.
I don't live in the middle of nowhere where tornadoes happen. They do say that? Okay. Yeah, we don't get any tornadoes here. So. Yo, chat, what are y'all doing in this situation? Me personally, I'm just taking the hit. Asserting my dominance.
It was a direct hit, as the EF4 tornado tore through the house before Clem could even say a word, quickly
Honestly,
turning
what?
the home that had once stood there for 100 years to dust and rubble. And buried beneath it all was Clem,
Bro, you're not surviving that, bro. Bro, me personally, I'm tanking that, bro.
along with his wife of 25 years.
Tanking that, broski. Yo, it did that much?
Against all odds, Clem would somehow survive, pulling himself up from the field of debris. It was a storm that would go on to destroy numerous homes and
Hold
take
on,
a lot
how
of debris.
long was that?
It was a
Yo, okay, hold on. I thought that's a China for a second. Whoops. Bro, it went like through an entire state pretty much. I don't know which state this is though. My geography is not that good. But holy, that thing went for miles. If this is state, this might be counties though, I don't know.
storm that would go on to destroy numerous homes and take the lives of 2 people, one of whom was Clem's neighbor and good friend Jacqueline Closa, who lived in the house that Clem had filmed being destroyed just moments before it struck him, and the other being Geraldine, Clem's wife and best friend. Days following the
What y'all doing if your wife die like that, bro? Okay, wait, how do people die from tornadoes? Is it like just too much for them and they just combust, or like they just get flung around and shot across the entire globe? Like, how does that happen? I genuinely don't even know.
disaster, a family
I would
member
think
who
they
had been
just
searching
get
the
wrapped
area
in it
for
and they
anything
just get
salvageable
flung
would
across
stumble
the
across
sky.
Clem's phone, which miraculously was still working. And on it would be the now infamous video that showed the point of view of a man being struck head-on by a tornado and somehow surviving. The imagery, the sounds, and the context make this clip one of the most shocking I have ever seen, as well as one of the darkest across all of YouTube.
The tornado has passed. Capricious.
It's not really that dark though. I mean, it's sad, like, you know, like it's crazy, but I wouldn't say it's like dark.
Swift, savage.
Before we move on to the next video, I want to briefly thank today's sponsor, Casetify.
Alright, bro.
I have 15% off your brand new phone case.
A new high-tech way to find out who's at the door.
With a video doorbell,
You'll never miss a visitor.
Do y'all got a ring? We have a ring, and bro, it's so clutch sometimes. Not saying that nothing crazy happens where I live, but like, bro, it's so like just nice to have. Like, a lot of people where I live have them too. It's like rare.
In the
if you
past
don't
few
have it now.
years, the world has seen a boom in the use of doorbell cameras, mainly because of instances like this. Capturing and exposing criminals in the act, from the most petty of thieves all the way to attempted murderers and kidnappers. Due to their knack for capturing disturbing encounters, the
Why is he hopping like that?
videos that have emerged from these devices have practically carved out their own genre here on YouTube, to the point that many, including myself, have almost become desensitized to them.
Yeah, I've never seen nothing crazy like that in front of my door. I think the craziest thing we've seen in front of our door was a deer. Or maybe there was a bear in front of it. I don't remember. But I think there was a deer just like mogging the camera. Just like in the middle of the night. It was just randomly there.
But recently, a video began making the rounds, showing the events that transpired at a Las Vegas home on the evening of July 21st, 2021, and it proved to be one of the most chilling I have ever seen. It
How
happened
crazy
around
is
8
this?
p.m., where a young lady had been working in her kitchen, waiting for her husband to return home from work. It was another 100-degree day in Vegas, and likely in an attempt to cool down, she would open her window to let the evening breeze in.
Bro, I've never met anyone that lives in Vegas, bro. No one, I'm like, do people really live there, bro? Like, that's like a vacation spot. No one lives in Vegas, dude. Unless they like own one of the hotels and they live there, like in the hotel, like no one lives there, bro.
Unbeknownst to her, this harmless decision would lead to a terrifying series of events. Outside of the home, a
No
man
one
had
lives there
been
except
wandering
for
the suburban
no one lives there except for people that just chill in the corner, you know, like those type of people, you know, and the people that, you know, go and pay for that
streets aimlessly, roaming throughout the neighborhood
because it's
before
legal in
stopping in his
Vegas.
tracks. In front of him was the open window and a clear view of the woman inside. It was a chance sighting that would lead to the man approaching the house and ringing the doorbell, where the camera would begin to record.
Are you sure? I just rang your doorbell because I have a couple questions for you.
I don't get why people do this knowing they have a camera right there. Like,
Are you sure?
it doesn't click in their brains or something, dude.
I just rang your doorbell because I have a couple questions for you. Are you sure? What? Are you sure?
Bro, if he says, "Are you sure?" one more time, I'm pulling up a picture of Omni-Man.
I just rang your doorbell because I have a couple questions for you. Are you sure?
Holy, bro. No. Like, we got... I don't know why we have this guy chilling in the doorbell, bro. Like, talking about... Dude is over here on the doorbell talking about some...
Are you sure?
Like, dude. Get off the front porch, bro.
The man stands there ringing the doorbell and knocking at the door, repeating the same sentences over and over again,
sure?
calmly
Are you
stating that
sure?
he just wants to ask a few questions. However, the woman inside had never met this man. In fact, she had never seen him before this moment. And to make it all stranger, she didn't respond to anything the man was saying, and was out of his line of view as he peeked through the door. So the phrases that he was saying were not in response to anyone, and instead, he was speaking to himself. Fearing for her safety, the woman inside didn't open the door or engage him at all, leading the man to take...
Smart, bro. People, like, you know, maybe she's not white or something, like, because every white person I know would open the door, like, you know, like, hey, you know.
things a step further.
Are you positive? I just have a couple questions for you. Are you sure?
Oh, say
Are
it
you
one more
positive?
time.
Are you sure?
Oh
Are you absolutely certain?
He begins trying to open the door, but thankfully it was locked, causing the strange man to start walking away, cursing under his breath. The footage is incredibly off-putting, and although the man seems to stay perfectly calm, there was something very aggressive and erratic about the way he was speaking, making one wonder what his true intentions were.
Yeah, you can't really tell what he was trying to do. He's just saying, like, I have a few questions and just spamming, "Are you sure?" Like he's Omni-Man. Like, I don't know what he was trying to do. Maybe he's bringing Viltrum in the planet.
And he
or something
approached
like
the
that, bro.
house. As the man begins to walk away, the woman's husband, still at work, would chime in through the doorbell after noticing the situation begin to unfold, which in turn would lead to the man revealing why he was ringing the doorbell.
Oh, that's the reason.
So who are you?
What? Yeah? Are you sure?
Who are you?
Bro, is this dude just like, why is he spamming "Are you sure"? Like, holy, bro.
Hey, I just had a couple questions. I just wanted to ask you about TV show. Yeah, can you hear me? What I'm looking for is for the girl that's in the house to come out here because I'm going to murder her and kill her.
Holy, bro. Saying this in front of a camera, full face exposed. It's like these people just don't even think about what they're doing, bro.
You have her open the door? gonna rape and kill the girl that's on the other side of this door when she lets me in.
It was no secret what he had planned for that evening. He outright says it, even revealing that he had the weapons to make it happen.
I want to rape her because I have a knife and a gun. Yeah, and I'm gonna knock on her door again.
If that woman had opened the door, or if that door had been unlocked, well, we know what would have happened. But thankfully, neither of those situations played out, and instead, the man walked away muttering the same phrases over and over again.
He's just walking away. Are you sure? Are you sure?
Yeah. What?
Even staring at the house for a few moments before finally disappearing into the night. Police were called to the area moments later, but the man was nowhere to be found. As quickly as he had entered this couple's life, he was now gone, leaving them with the reality that at any moment he could return. Scared for her life,
They couldn't just like look at his face and just like find an ID that matches or something like that. Like,
lady posted the clip online where it would quickly go viral across YouTube, which honestly may have ended up saving a life. The following day, a viewer of the video would recognize the same man walking in another residential area, in one that was not too far away from the house where the encounter took place. And after the police were called, the man would be quickly arrested before he could play out his disturbing fantasy. When confronted and asked for his name, the man would simply state that he was the Holy Spirit, and said nothing more.
this guy, bro. Can't be serious, dude.
Though his real name was revealed to be Christopher Sums, a man who had passed charges of stealing, assaulting, and intimidating a witness, with his mugshot being nothing short of completely haunting. But what I found most surprising was the fact that he didn't always look like this. In fact, just a few years ago, he looked completely normal. And according to his LinkedIn,
Bro was looking like a chill dude and everything, bro. Just some regular guy. Dude had a good smile and a hat
he had
on.
a fairly impressive work history and what seemed to be a good life, until for whatever reason, things spiraled in the wrong direction. As it stands, Christopher is being
Bro is on some crazy stuff, bro. I don't know what it is, bro. Just stay sober. Like, I don't know what's good with people, bro.
evaluated to see if he is mentally fit to stand trial, as many believe that he likely suffers from some kind of psychological condition, hence the repeating phrases and the strange behavior.
Yep.
Though his blatant and rapid change in appearance might also point to heavy drug use or even a combination of both. But regardless of what was behind his behavior that day, the situation and the subsequent video is haunting and could have been so much worse had that door been opened.
Are you sure?
I feel like
Yeah, bro, that's why you just never open the door. Like, I feel like a lot of people are taught this, like, when they're kids and everything. It's just, like, when someone that you don't know is at the door, or you just, like, I just wouldn't open the door. Like, if they're knocking, asking questions, and you have a camera, too, is, like, what's the point of even, like, opening or, like, being close to the door? Like, it's, like, pointless.
everyone's out to get me.
Hello, this is Tababa McConnell.
posted this.
YouTube is a site that draws in people from all walks of life, each with their own unique motivation for starting up their channels. Some are in it for the money and the fame, while others are in it for the love of creating content. But sprinkled throughout the site are a select few who come here to feel heard and to get something off their chest.
That's like less than 5% of YouTube, though. Like, a lot of people are just making content to make content. Like, you know, that's just how it is. Like, you have to, like, really search for
Something
like
that for 27-year-old Tabebe Mokanen would be his primary motivation for posting his first and only video on March 17th, 2018. Tabebe had struggled his whole life with mental illness, suffering from both schizophrenia and bipolar disorder. These mental illnesses...
Bro, that's a crazy combo. Imagine you see, like, people that aren't there, like, you know, whatever schizophrenia is, and you have bipolar, bro, you just switch like that while saying wild stuff, bro. That's insane.
led to an event in 2013 where he would wander off from his home unprovoked. Outside, he began to walk for miles, essentially in a daze, before finding himself in what he described as a very dangerous part of town. Thankfully, Tebebe would be safely found before anything had happened to him, but this incident would prove to be life-changing, as it would lead to his hospitalization due to his unpredictable and dangerous behavior. This would also start a long spell of being given heavy medication to help.
Bro, that's always a bad thing, bro. Like, honestly, hospitals kind of start addictions for certain people, though. Like, not to everyone, but like, bro, it'll start it for
with
like
his
a lot of people.
schizophrenia and bipolar disorder. Over the course of the next 4 years, Tebebe would find himself in and out of the hospital and prescribed a variety of powerful antipsychotic drugs, something that would consume.
Is that how pills are made?
Prescribed a variety of powerful antipsychotic drugs, something that would consume his life, as he felt like he was no longer in control of his actions. And feeling trapped, he would turn to YouTube to share his story.
Hello, this is Tababa Mukonin. I'm talking and putting this video because I wanted to bring awareness to a situation that I'm dealing with that's very painful. I was hospitalized June 25th.
Honestly, people that do this without even having like any like subs or anything like that, like just off rip first video, just talking about like your own like struggles and stuff like that, takes some balls, bro. Like, I wouldn't even do that.
2013, I went there to supposedly get an IV. I ended up being forced to take medication, and it was pure hell. They gave me Haldol, Risperidol, and they were forcing antipsychotics down my throat. It was absolute torture and hell.
In the 10-minute video, Tebebe made it clear that he was not consenting to this medical treatment, and he explained how the medication he was forced to take made him feel like a zombie, even saying that it had gotten so bad that he had thoughts of taking his own life.
It was bad. It was.
Yeah, no, like some pills, and it's like, bro, doctors are supposed to like be experts with this, but sometimes they just mess up completely, and it changes someone like forever. Like,
really bad, and I had suicidal ideation.
Throughout the clip, Tebebe comes across as intelligent and well-spoken, but traces of his illness shine through periodically. For instance, he explains how immediately after being released from the hospital on multiple occasions, he would wander away from his home, even attempting to be homeless for a while admitting that he didn't know why this was an issue, or why it would always lead to him going back to the hospital.
I got off, and
that's the dumbest thing ever, bro. You're at your house and you're just wandering off. Like, that's how they know you're like somewhat crazy, because it's like, why are you trying to be homeless or just wander out for no reason? There's zero reason and correlation to do that, bro. Like, what for? You're just doing it just to do it at that point. Like, it's like, bro, you can be in your house on the game or something like that, bro. Like, doing anything at all. You're just walking around, like, just doing whatever. Like, what are you
I think
doing?
I had another episode, as they like to say, where I said I wanted to be homeless. That's it. All I said was I wanted to be homeless. So, and I proceeded to be homeless. And next thing I know, the cops came and they arrested me and they took me back to the hospital. Then after that, I left and I tried to be homeless again.
Wait, why did he get arrested though? Like, is it like for like psychotic stuff like that, or like? I don't get why they would arrest someone for saying they want to be homeless. Like, how is that a crime?
And I was hospitalized again.
But things would
Maybe
be
like
further
safety
escalated
for
as
the public or something
Tebebe
like that.
casually explains how he has violent outbursts, even resorting to punching multiple people who were trying to give him medication, as well as starving himself in retaliation.
So I started getting violent, and I started punching people, and I started attacking people in the hospital, and they had to tie me down, I began to lash out like, I'm going to protest this. I'm going to starve myself as a way of hopefully stopping this ridiculous forced treatment for absolutely nothing.
And by the end of the video, Tebebe flat out explains that he does not have any sort of mental illness.
That's literally not even true though. Like, did he say that he had schizophrenia and bipolar, or like, how did that be like figured out?
Or have any symptoms for that matter, calling what was happening to him an injustice.
I guess I'm just trying to let you guys know the injustice that goes on.
It's a truly depressing situation.
Yeah, no, he's actually just crazy. That's what it is. It's not injustice. He's just crazy.
As on one hand, he is being forced to take medication that essentially makes him feel dead inside, while on the other hand, it seems very apparent that treatment is necessary to not only keep others around him, but himself safe, as he doesn't seem fully aware of how serious some of his actions are. Tebebe concluded the video by asking those watching what they thought of his situation, and though it didn't garner many views, a select few would stumble upon it and agree with his stance that the treatment he was receiving was unlawful, with many insinuating that he should continue to protest and not take.
Okay, I would say it's unlawful, but they had a point on why was he just leaving his house like that? Like, unless it started because they were giving him all this stuff, then that makes sense, and that's definitely unlawful. But if he was doing it before he even went to the hospital and did all of that, then yeah, that's a crazy a lawsuit or something, bro.
His medication. These comments are unfortunately no longer available, as just a few weeks ago the video was removed, but they had been reflected across multiple sites as people called out the commenters for essentially trying to convince someone to go off his medication cold turkey, and doing so without knowing the true extent of his medical history, which obviously is irresponsible and potentially very dangerous. But unfortunately, these conflicting viewpoints came years later, and in that time surrounding the video's release, Tebebe had likely found the verification he was looking for. He was going to keep protesting his medication. This video would be the first and last that we would ever hear from Tebebe, but it...
Yeah, no, I think the comments thing is definitely true, but it's yeah, you can't really guess what someone's medical history is or anything like that. So yeah, you can't really defend him or really disagree, because it might be unlawful, but you just don't know the full story, you know?
Wouldn't be the last we'd hear.
And he's probably not gonna tell the entire truth, because he wants to sound right.
Of him. Just 2 months following the video, Tebebe would make the local news after having an encounter at the hospital. There, a therapist entered his room to talk with him, when suddenly Tebebe snapped, grabbing her and refusing to let go, while performing lewd gestures toward her and eventually pinning her on the ground, refusing to let her go. The situation led to Tebebe being arrested for sexual battery, but no jail time was ever given, as instead, a plea deal was reached where Tebebe agreed to stay in the hospital, and most importantly, he agreed to go back on his medication and take it as prescribed. It's this note that hints at the idea that he had likely gone off his medication before this incident.
Yeah, because no one just lashes out that crazy or anything like that, bro. Being all calm and then just out of nowhere just snaps, yeah, no one does
something that would have directly led to his violent outburst. And given the event's proximity to the video that he had just posted, and the comments supporting his desire to stop taking his medication, it's not hard to theorize that Tebebe may have cut off his meds due to the advice of his comment section, or at the very least was further convinced that it was the right thing to do. Regardless, it seemed clear that the inconsistencies with his medication had caused him to lose control, and this wouldn't be the last time. In the summer of 2019, Tebebe was staying at an Embassy Suites hotel with his mother.
I thought he had to stay in the hospital, or was it just a limited time? Probably limited time, right? There's no way he just lives in the hospital.
There's Alem Abje, who had been caring for him around the clock. He had been moved there from the hospital as part of his treatment plan, as it kept him close by and easy to monitor regularly. but it also made him free of being cooped up in a hospital room, which clearly he didn't enjoy. The change of scenery was likely supposed to calm Tebebe and his growing anger issues, but unfortunately, his violent outbursts did not stop there. On August 20th at 1:30 a.m., Tebebe would get into an altercation with his mother in their hotel room.
Bro's about to start boxing his mom, bro? Nah, you can't do that, bro. Like, it's definitely like mental illness and maybe like just too much like medication and stuff like that.
It's
bro.
not clear
I don't
what
know
had started
it is.
the arguments, but things would quickly turn physical, as Tebebe started to shove his mother, pushing her so hard that it would knock her out of the room, and then onto their balcony. Their room was on one of the top floors of the hotel, and it overlooked their balcony.
Did she fall off the entire
His mother,
place?
pushing her so hard that it would knock her out of the room, and then onto their balcony. Their room was on one of the top floors.
I bet I had another bleed and was coughing out blood. No, you're good, bro.
Of the hotel, and
bro, I've been having a lot of bloody noses lately, so it's been just random. But you're good, bro.
Then onto their balcony. Their room was on one of the top floors of the hotel, and it overlooked the lobby down below. And in one more violent outburst, Tebebe would give one final push, this time knocking her all the way over the railing, causing her to plummet to the ground below.
Bro, nose bleeding? Yeah, bro. It's like I don't know why I get them at this point, but it's weird. It's like it's really often lately. Like it used to be kind of rare, but it's like more and more often. But we are back. Facts, bro. This dude just threw his mom off the balcony.
She did not survive the impact. Tebebe Mokanen was arrested at the scene and held at a holding center where he remains to this day awaiting his trial, though his crime is clear, and it's likely he will spend the rest of his life either behind bars or in some kind of institution. The events that happened on that fateful morning are still somewhat unknown to this day, though we do know the events that led up to it, and the years of hurt and anger that Tebebe had built up, as well as his inconsistent and dangerous use of antipsychotics, which, unsurprisingly, it appears that he had again attempted to take himself off of his meds.
Yeah, that's not really surprising, so... But yeah, I don't know why people do this, bro. Like, it's just... Take your, like, if a doctor prescribes you stuff like that, bro, you're supposed to take it. Like, there's a reason why they tell you to take things. They usually know best.
In the time surrounding his murderous fit, with this being used as the likely reason for his behavior that day, something that was telegraphed in one single video, which, looking back, almost foreshadows the tragic events that were soon to come.
My bad trying to bring this up. My sis apparently did not like when he called someone a hog and got mad, but bro, like would you rather call me like me calling them like fat or something like that, or like unhealthy? Like I don't know what the nicest way to say it is, bro. Like, and like I don't know why people get so offended from it. It's like, sure, like it might be fat shaming or whatever. Like I'm not trying to shame them though. Like it's really like, who knows? She said it was because it was towards girls. I mean, bro, guys can also be hogs. Like it's kind of how it is, bro. Like it's really not that hard to just like eat better and go to a gym. Like people do it like on purpose at this point. Like I don't really care. Yeah. But like it's still crazy though. It's like, why don't, like, I get like the obesity rate in America is like crazy, but like still it's like you don't really, it's not that hard to just be in shape. Honestly, like I'd rather be skinny than big. But like, I guess some people have like crazy metabolisms and stuff like that, so it's like, can't really blame them. Like they might eat like one thing and gain a pound, but like still, I'm from Antarctica, so I don't know. Okay, yeah, bro. polar bears, they just be chilling, I guess. I don't know. But like still, it's like I don't know why people like I'm not gonna say I don't know why people get big, but I don't know why people don't try to fix it. And it's so normalized now. Well, it's just kind of big, so that's probably why. But it's pretty easy to fix that though. Like I'm not saying that it's bad, but it's like it's not that hard to like, make yourself not big anymore, I don't know. Maybe that's just me.
Events that may have been further spurred on by the viewers watching him.
Like it's hard to like change how you weigh, like for sure, but like because I've been skinny like my entire life pretty much. Like and I'm still underweight. But like I know I can fix it if I just had like a better sleep schedule and just actually like consistently hit the gym and eat more. But it's just hard for me to do that because my sleep schedule is awful, and then I like wake up late, can't get as much in my body, and then hit the gym the right way. So, but like you just have to focus on yourself to not be like unhealthier and stuff like that. It's simple, but it's hard, I just really can't vanish because I'm a mod. Oh, I didn't know you couldn't do that.
The true miracle happened right out of a zombie movie.
Hey, what did I say?
The true miracle happened right out of a zombie movie.
Our next video takes us across the world to the Philippines in mid-July 2014.
Because you can't time out a mod, and that's how it clears. Oh, okay.
The story begins on a tragic note as a family says their goodbyes to their 3-year-old daughter. In the days prior, the young girl had developed a severe fever, and without access to an up-to-date medical facility, she would pass away in the morning hours on July 12th. With no pulse and no heartbeat, the little girl was pronounced dead and taken home to prepare for the funeral, which would be held the next day. It was obviously a somber event.
I was having a pimple forming, and I feel it hurts. A lot of pimples hurt, bro, like, just for no reason. But just wash your face. I'm guessing it's probably on your face, right? Like, just wash your face, bro. Low-key, like, I know a lot of people say it's like the soap. It's usually not the soap. If it's like on your body, it's like just like a chill pill. Yeah, I mean, but bro, like it's I don't know. Like I can literally go like after this video, I might low-key just do like a whole thing of like how to glow up or something like that, bro. I know I'm not perfect, but like I gotta follow my own like footsteps. I wash my face. I need to change my pillowcase, bro. Invest in like silk bedding. That's what I have. I get like, it's really nice. And then, bro, you ever get like the night colds? That thing will keep you slumped, bro. Like if they're cold, and then when you wake up, it's like if you have like the curtain like slightly open, like I have blackout, so I like have it slightly open, and then it like helps, get like the morning warm. So
as the girl was placed in her casket and the lid was shut, family members and loved ones gathered around to celebrate the short life of a child who deserved so much more, and watch as she was placed into the ground, which would be her.
This has to be like one of the saddest things though, like watching like a baby die so young. Like they're 3 years old, watching your own kid die that young is so sad. I saw a toy at Walmart. Did not know they sell those. Maybe invest in those. Maybe. I might have to go and get a link for that, I might have to get that.
But before that would happen, one of the neighbors had been in charge of arranging the young girl's body before burial. Though something strange happened when he went to do.
There's so many things that can happen. I was like, one, he can be like into like the whole, what is it, necrophilia or whatever, where I think that's the one where it's like you're like into like dead people. Two, he might be like some kind of like eating or something like that. Or three, he's just like I don't know, Jeffrey Epstein.
Do so. Inside the coffin,
Or
the
all
young
of the
girl's
above.
head began to move. It was a slight twitch, but in a panic,
Wait, what?
his head began. Something strange happened when he went to do so. Inside the coffin, the young girl's head began to move. It was a slight twitch, but in a panic, the neighbor checked for a pulse, only to discover that her heart was still beating, and the young girl was breathing. One of the family members begins to record as the sudden wave of realization hits that the child was actually alive.
How? What? Yeah, I know, bro. The lightest coffins are the heaviest. I like that. That's low-key kind of true. But how was she breathing? She was pronounced dead. And it's been like a day and now she's like waking up. That's like a miracle, bro. There's no way.
It's the ultimate case of what if. Had that person not opened the casket to reposition the body, then that little girl would have been buried alive, and no one would have ever known. It's a clip that I'm sure many of you have seen by now, as the original video itself has garnered over...
Bro, what are those emos that you're typing? 3-year-old girl wakes up at her own funeral. Oh wow, this was during the funeral too. I didn't know. I thought it was.
And topping that, a news station that covered the story currently sits with 25 million views. It's one of the more viral horror stories that I've ever seen on YouTube.
How is that horror? That's like a miracle. What are you talking about?
As seemingly everyone knows about this infamous video, and rightfully so. I mean, it's one of the craziest stories I have ever seen, both on YouTube or in the news. But the only problem is, this viral video didn't tell the whole story. The story itself does in fact appear to be true, having been confirmed by Philippine officials who admitted that a mistake had been made in that particular hospital, which led to the mix-up and almost to the mistaken burial.
How do you mistake it that bad though? Like, I'm pretty sure it would be so clear to tell if someone is dead. Like, if they flatline, have no vitals for like at least like, I don't know how long it is, but I know there's like a time frame. Then they're dead. But like, if not, then like, I don't know how you get that wrong.
But the story doesn't have the happy ending that many of us thought, as in reality, that child never actually woke up. She did have a pulse and shallow breathing, but she would never regain consciousness and remained in a comatose state. In fact, just 2 days after this video was taken, and on the 15th of July, she would once again be pronounced dead, this time for real. But looking back on the viral...
Bro, that's... Imagine being pronounced dead twice. That's crazy.
Video viewed by millions, the anchors say that she was fine, calling it a miracle.
Happy tears, knowing that thankfully she's fine.
I'm glad they opened that casket to check to move around.
Now, it may be possible that they just didn't know this at the time, as based off of the way they're talking, it seems like their report would have came out the day or the day after the child was found alive. Only, that's not true either.
Might be worse experiencing it twice. Yeah, that's true. But you're also in a coma, so you don't really feel anything.
As the child was determined to be
the first time probably worse, but the second time I think they were like just in a coma.
Alive on the 13th of July, and once again pronounced dead on the 15th, just 2 days later. Yet this video was published a full month later, on August 13th, 2014. So when this video went live, that little girl was long gone, and this is something that they likely knew, as it had been well reported in other major news outlets on the day of her actual passing. I mean, nowadays, even the top Google result for this incident mentions her passing, and it came out on the very day it happened. So when this video went live, they had to have known it wasn't true.
So they have my type of upload schedule. Fire.
What started on its own as one of the darkest videos on the site has now become even more twisted as the true ending has been revealed. A miracle that turned out to be nothing more than a mirage, leading to even more heartbreak as the family was now forced to grieve and come to terms with this girl's passing twice.
Like the parent, oh yeah. The parents saying that happened 2 times is awful.
And it's made
because you're like, oh my god, they're back, they're alive, and then having that, yeah,
made
that's
even
awful.
worse by the news report that has essentially rewritten the story's ending. But looking at just the video and the story as is, of how everything unfolded, it's still truly horrifying that this little girl was almost buried alive, whether she was conscious or not. And it makes me wonder how many others have been in that dreadful situation, buried alive by mistake. The answer to that question is one that we'll quite literally never know, since it is sealed within the claustrophobic walls of a dark coffin, with no hope of escape.
And that's the iMac.
Yeah, that's insane, bro. It's crazy to think about too. Like there could be a lot of people that like that's happened to, but you just never know. Once you're in there locked up, it's like no one's gonna hear you at all.
Computers are coming your way.
Divorce is often one of the more traumatic experiences that a young
Feel bad for Nick Crowley. He probably sees a lot of messed up shit to make these. Yeah.
child can go through, as many are left in a state of confusion and distress at such a tumultuous time in their life.
That's why I couldn't
and for a young
like
man
this.
named Daniel Bartlam, his childhood was sadly no different. Growing up in Nottinghamshire, England, Daniel's parents...
After this video, I'm gonna have to use the bathroom, so I'm gonna play one of my videos while I'm just sitting there and just letting off some steam.
Jackie and Adrian would separate following the birth of Daniel's younger brother, with the situation leading to a split in the family as the young boys would move to a new home with their mother. This brought Daniel to an unfamiliar town as well as a brand new school, and to top it all off, Daniel's mother would soon find a new partner, further adding to the confusion that Daniel must have been feeling. All of these circumstances would lead Daniel to a declining mental state as he began to isolate himself in his room, barely speaking to his family. Daniel's mother, Jackie, was well aware of the change in his behavior.
Bro, a lot of the times when people like do that, it's usually I'm not gonna say it's the parents' fault, but like some of it is, but it's also on the person for like how they handled it.
And she soon thought of the perfect way to bring him out of this depression. So she saved up some money on the side until she eventually had enough to buy Daniel his very own iMac, a computer that he had been asking for years. At the time, Daniel had a vested interest in technology, even having his own YouTube channel dedicated to the topic. But this new computer meant an upgrade in quality and a future with limitless possibilities.
The iMac is not that good, bro. I mean, maybe it was back then, but like, bro, now it's like mid.
Overjoyed, Daniel quickly began a new channel and dedicated his very first upload to his new device.
What does he make videos of? The worst intro I've ever seen.
Hello YouTube, this is Daniel EB1702 here, and it's finally happened. I now have...
Bro, people used to do anything in YouTube, no editing at all, and would get hella views for zero reason. I have a stepdad, and used to only see my dad on weekends. Then my grandma-in-law smacked me and my dad. Took my mom to court for a half custody. Yo, what? We just got bear lore. Sorry to hear that, bro. Like, why did she do that?
an iMac, and I can now make bigger and better videos.
The video is clearly nothing too special, as the quality is about what you would expect from a kid his age who was just starting out. And the following videos were much the same, with these uploads simply being compilations from a show he liked. It all may not have seemed like much, But this computer, along with this new channel, seemed to be the spark that he so badly needed, a new passion and a new outlook on life. But
honestly, that's what my face, because I made a face in my I mean, I don't know. Like, girls will protect girls. That's kind of how it is. My dad won't care if I make like some stupid ass face of my sister or something like that. But you know, like grandma might, you know. But I feel like grandmas are more protective. So, but as I was saying though, like bro, all you really need though to like get you out of like a shell is like something that like drives you. Like for this guy, it's like making these
he
videos.
so badly needed a new passion.
It was just me smiling weird.
And a new outlook on life. But strangely, after just a few uploads, the account would go silent. This is something that happens all the time on YouTube, where a creator starts posting with high aspirations before abandoning their work, and it's typically due to a lack of success or just the overall busyness of life. But in Daniel's case, his reason for leaving was far darker, as right around the time of his last upload, he would experience the ultimate tragedy. On the morning of April 25th, 2011...
Better not be you. I mean, I'm talking about like my YouTube schedule. My stream schedule is kind of unpredictable, but like it's usually like I stream a lot more. Like I stream like more than half of the week. You know? But like YouTube, I haven't uploaded on my main channel in like since like March or February or something like that, bro. So I gotta log back in. I have a video that I just haven't like edited. So I might low key be gotten almost every day, so big dubs. I think I'm probably gonna take the date out like for streaming tomorrow. I don't think there's gonna be a stream tomorrow, but because I'm just gonna try to get as much like uploads and everything out as possible. And also try to like not go to bed too late for Monday.
Neighbors of Daniel had reported hearing a commotion coming from his home. That commotion would soon turn to chaos, as the house suddenly erupted into flames, with smoke billowing out all sides. Through the commotion, Daniel
I wasn't really paying attention.
11. Neighbors of Daniel had reported hearing a commotion coming from his home. That commotion would soon turn to chaos, as the house suddenly erupted into
So someone set his house on fire.
To flames, with smoke billowing out all sides. Through the commotion, Daniel would emerge from the home with his little brother and dog in hand.
Me? Wait, what?
But his mother was nowhere to be found.
Oh, I think you said that you almost set your house on fire or something like that one time, right?
Police and fire units arrived at the scene quickly, but were already too late,
gone then.
As inside the home, they would find the badly burned and disfigured body of Jackie. And surprisingly, they'd soon notice that it wasn't the fire that had done her in, but rather she had been brutally murdered with what appeared to be a hammer. The scene was shocking and incredibly chaotic, but luckily Daniel had been there to explain everything.
Why did they put that picture of him? But that's sad though. Like your mom gets murdered and your house just gets burnt down.
According to the child, a masked burglar had entered the home before confronting his mother. The confrontation then led to the anonymous person attacking Jackie with a hammer, causing her to collapse to the floor. He then says the intruder lit her body on fire, leading Daniel to grab his brother and dog and escape from the blaze, saving what remained of his family as the murderer escaped out the back. Daniel's story stood out for several reasons, mainly because it showed Daniel was a hero for...
Facts, bro. Shout out Daniel, bro. Even though his YouTube intro is corny, but like, he's low-key him.
Saving his brother and dog, and it showed just how traumatic that morning must have been for him, as in the matter of one day, Daniel had lost his home and his mother in probably the most devastating way imaginable. But his story also stood out for one other reason, with that reason being in regards to the killer. As police began their investigation, they searched and searched for any clues left behind from this supposed masked intruder. but they found nothing. No fingerprints, no footprints, no anything. And looking for any semblance of a lead, they started to search through Daniel's room, where through the charred remains, they miraculously found his computer in
What does the computer have to do with it, though? And how is the computer still intact after being burnt down?
perfect working order. Authorities would search the child's device when they stumbled upon something rather bizarre. It was a story that Daniel had typed months before in a Word document that was set as the scene of a soap opera that he had been writing. The story read, Daniel Bartlam, 1997 to 2047, the longest-serving male character to be on the show. The only place he couldn't get away with his deeds was with his mother, Jackie.
So he did it himself. He wrote about it and then did it.
So one evening, he made it look as though it was a break-in and murdered his mother with a hammer and then set her and the family home alight, but helped his brother out to safety and got his neighbors to contact the police. The story ends with
Bro literally explained the entire story just on his MacBook Word.
Daniel lying to the police and getting away with murder. It was a shocking revelation, as his mother had been killed with a hammer and set on fire through what Daniel had described as a break-in, just as his story was written. And to make it all stranger, further investigation would reveal that in the days prior to Jackie's death, Daniel had attempted to delete the document, though he had failed to fully remove it.
What an idiot. Low-key, like, bro. If you know you're gonna do something, why would you even expose yourself like that? I don't like, bro. A lot of rappers do this too, bro. It's like they make verses of them snitching on themselves for zero reason.
And the findings went deeper, as countless screenshots and clips of a character from a show called Coronation Street were found on the hard drive, with it appearing as though Daniel had an obsession with this character, which proved to be rather interesting, as the character, John Stape, was a villain who had murdered another character with a claw hammer, the same weapon used on his mother. Investigators would keep digging until they eventually found the nail in the coffin, as it was...
How is that already not the nail in the coffin, bro? Like, that's enough proof to just arrest them.
It was revealed that in the days prior to the attack, Daniel had searched how to get away with murder.
Putting that in your search history is the craziest idea ever. That's just asking to get put in the FBI watch list, bro.
With the slew of information and the lack of evidence that a break-in had ever occurred, Daniel's story quickly fell apart, until he eventually admitted the gruesome truth that he had been the one who had taken his mother's life. On the 24th of April, Daniel would spend the night in his room rewatching one of his favorite Saw movies. He then emerged from the room carrying a claw hammer and approached his sleeping mother. He proceeded to strike her 7 times in the face.
So he was watching a Saw movie and then just jumped straight into it. Wow.
Before eventually setting her body on fire and escaping the home with his brother and dog, acting as the hero who had quote-unquote saved the day, when in reality it was all his doing. And the entire series of events had been plotted out on the very computer that his mother gave him, the same computer that he had so excitedly made this video on just months before the attack. To this day, we don't really know why Daniel chose to attack his mother, as any reason he's given has been fairly easily disproven, with many chalking it up to his tumultuous childhood, though
I mean, yeah, that's probably the only reason. And then maybe the stuff he was, like, doing when he was alone, like, you never know what he's doing. What a pick, I know.
We have learned more information about his early years, with many of these stories proving to be incredibly disturbing, and hinting at the idea that Daniel was mentally unwell. For instance, it was said that he had an obsession with gruesome movies and games that seemed to inspire his own violent thoughts, as he began watching these graphic films at the age of 8. He took these films as inspiration.
Honestly, that's not even his fault. That's low-key, like, the parents for not monitoring, like, what he watches. Like, you have to watch what your kid watches, bro. Especially that young, like, what are you doing?
To start writing his own stories, which almost always ended in death and murder, and the details of which were said to be incredibly intense. And in a much darker example, about 6 weeks before the murder, During a normal day at school, Daniel began desperately yanking at his tie, insisting that it was trying to strangle him. When further asked about this, he then revealed that he was hearing voices, and those voices were telling him to hurt people. But surprisingly, after being given a psychiatric evaluation...
Alright, what do we think? I think he's just making stuff up low-key. But if it is something, then it's going to be like schizophrenia.
The counselor told his mother that there was nothing wrong with Daniel. But to be on the safe side, they did offer counseling that Jackie would quickly deny.
Why would you deny it, bro? Like, there's clearly something wrong, which is why you're, getting, like, asking them, like, if something's wrong. And you're like, oh, he doesn't have anything? Nah, he's good.
A decision that, for her, may have ultimately proven fatal. Whatever made Daniel snap that day, it was seemingly a long time coming, and despite his young age, he would be sentenced to life in prison, with a chance for parole coming in the distant future. But the truly tragic note here is about his mother, Jackie, as she bought...
I think if you murder someone, you should either, get life or, like, some kind of, like, death sentence, bro. Like, because you took a life, bro. Like, that's just not fair. Like, only, like, what's like the actual, like, charge time for murder? Like, what, like a few years? If it's, like, unmeditated or, like, not meditated or whatever. Like, that's, like, just, like, a few years. But, like, we really gotta fix that, bro.
Her son that iMac that he so clearly loved, and she did so in the hopes that it would bring some much-needed happiness during such a tough time in his life. How could she have known that in reality, Daniel would turn around and use that very computer to plan and eventually carry out her very own murder? I want to give a huge thank you to my gold tier and god tier patrons: Allie Farmer, Barry Winstanley, Bazooka Music, Quinn Kiwi.
Alright. Murder gets a life sentence, which is 50 to 75 years. Oh, I thought it was maybe it's a homicide that gets less. There's one of them that, like, you're like barely in time, which is, like, stupid. I don't remember, like, what it is though. But yeah, I'm gonna take quick, just dropping log type of break, and then we'll be right back. Oh, it's probably that one. It's either that or homicide, because homicide is just like you took someone's life, and it can be either from defense or like something else. But yeah, we're gonna take a quick little break. I have to use the bathroom, so I'm just gonna put one of my videos on. Y'all can, flame me for my awful editing back in the day, but yeah.